In my new ongoing series, It Sucks, it sucks to be a liberal. This was supposed to be Nancy Botox Pelosi's big week. This is it. Finally, the articles of impeachment from the House are going to be voted on Wednesday and then officially sent to the Senate. And then she was going to be able to either crucify Mitch McConnell for not doing what Adam Schiff couldn't do, which was prove a crime that didn't actually happen, or she was going to be able to take this victory lap that she impeached the president. And yet, no one cares. In fact, I've been wondering over the weekend why so much attention is being given to and why seemingly are so many people interested in what's happening in England with the royal family. Me personally, I thought we fought a revolutionary war to not be under the crown, to not care about what the royals are up to. Why is this such a big deal? And it hit me. It's anything besides the impeachment. And I think that really is where the American people are at. They don't care. They have looked at the baseless accusations that have been hurled against this president, trying to impeach him. There's this danger that he cannot remain as the president. Then they play these games where they withhold the articles. They don't send them over. Well, apparently he can't be this much of a danger. There were no actual fact witnesses sitting there with any type of smoking gun. Yes, we heard him say XYZ and it got edited out of the transcript. There was none of that. Absolutely none of that. So the American people have decided at this point that obviously, number one, the president really didn't do anything wrong. Number two, there's plenty of video evidence now that people are really curious about what were the Biden's role in all of this. And now there's reports coming out that Burisma itself, you know, that little company that Hunter Biden worked for, that he was being paid millions of dollars to sit on their board as this expert in what was it, energy, and he knew nothing about energy. And Burisma itself has been compromised by Russia. Oh, there we go, some real Russian collusion, so now all of a sudden we can't talk about it anymore. The American people have looked at all of this and said, enough, enough. Let's get on with it. The economy is rocking and rolling, and they see the Democrats, number two, as being absolutely desperate, knowing they haven't got a candidate coming into this fall that can beat Donald Trump. So they're trying to take him out before the election. Yet they're screaming about there's going to be election interference, and they're already purging voter rolls, and this is going to be unfair, and we're going to have lawyers. No, what's becoming more and more evident to the American people, the left, they're crazy. They're libloons, libtards, and they're literally out of control and beside themselves that Nancy Botox Pelosi, I like the fact that occasionally Mark Dice over at markdice.com, and he's got a channel right here on YouTube, he sometimes refers to Nancy Pelosi as Skeletor. You would think with all of that graft and money that she's rolling in from all of the special interests and the lobbyists that have paid her through the years, she could at least afford a set of dentures that fit, because I'm tired of her watching her fix her teeth when she does a press conference. I, of course, refer to her as Nancy Botox Pelosi. Sometimes I do think of her as a Bond villain from a James Bond movie, Pelosi galore. Dennis Miller calls her Cruella Demented. She has been upstaged by a 90-something-year-old Queen of England. I mean, people would rather talk about what's happening with the royals than what's happening with this so-called impeachment farce. They have lost so badly that even George Stephanopoulos on ABC this week was forced to admit on camera with his panel, Yeah, the speaker can come out and say all she wants and try to spin and say that holding on to these articles actually reveal that Mitch McConnell is not interested in doing a fair constitutional process, yada, 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 yada. You know, she's starting to sound like that school teacher on Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah. But at the end of the day, they've got sources, and George Stephanopoulos acknowledging Democrats on the Hill behind closed doors are panic-stricken. This whole thing has backfired. Well, duh. First of all, you put Adam Schiff and Jerry the Nads Nadler out there as your front and center pieces. Schiff is an absolute liar and now forever hung as pencil neck by President Donald Trump. And Jerry the Nads Nadler is a walking fire hydrant. He is just a disgusting pig of an individual. That all said, the president is supposed to be the most hated and viled individual. And yet, at the National Championship Football, LSU versus Clemson, he got the unthinkable, a standing ovation.
Please rise and remove your hats as our nation's colors are presented by the Naval Air Station Joint Reserve Base, New Orleans All-Service Color Guard, including members of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard. Tonight, as we honor our nation, please remain standing and welcome members of the ROTC units from Louisiana State University and Clemson University, joined by the President of the United States and the First Lady.
Sure is nice to see patriotism at, well, a sporting event. Nobody kneeling, everybody standing, hands over their heart, chanting USA, and having respect and admiration for the President and First Lady. You know, everybody talks about what a great First Lady Michelle Obama was. For what? What did she do? She did have that war against obesity that apparently you can't talk about that anymore because that's fat shaming. What's her name there? The judge from Biggest Loser, you know, made some comment that, you know, these really extreme overweight people that are now being upheld as celebrities and being given magazine covers and, you know, they're now being featured by retailers like American Eagle that they now have plus, triple plus sizes. This is not a good thing. She has been crucified. How dare you fat shame? How dare you body shame? I don't know. I was under the impression that, and I'm a former extremely overweight person myself. I'm still in the process of losing weight. Lost about 90 pounds since April of 2019. When you're overweight, your body doesn't work right. You're in health risk. I was in type 2 diabetes. I'm not now. But now that's fat shaming. Well, you know, that was kind of, you know, Michelle Obama's thing. You know, let's get American fat kids in shape. So Melania Trump constantly gets maligned by the media. Here's a woman who speaks, 4 languages. She is done a great job in the raising of Barron Trump. There's a sharp young man. I mean, the Trump kids, say what you want about them. None of them have been on the scandal pages of the celebrity tabloids ever. So there's the president being heralded for, I don't know, the great economy, keeping America safe. Today we're deporting literally hundreds and hundreds of people back to Mexico where they belong. And he got a standing ovation, but then the unthinkable happened. somebody captured Vince Vaughn, seen in this picture, shaking hands with the president. Why, how dare he? And then actual video. Yep. How dare Vince Vaughn engage in friendly conversation with the president? And of course, social media blowing up over this. Same social media that even went after Ellen DeGeneres for saying something nice and sitting next to George W. Bush at a football game. You know, this is just beyond over the top, because apparently, unless you're willing to just, if you're sitting there and the president's there, what, you're supposed to reach over and smack him because you have a different political ideology than he does? Oh, wait, that is exactly what unhinged lunatic Alec Baldwin would do. Alec Baldwin, the failing actor whose only claim to fame now is that Saturday Night Live gives him a paycheck, actually tweeted out that the problem with the moral decay in this country are the Trump supporters. In fact, he went on in that tweet to say, it will be our fault for the entire decline of the nation if we re-elect him. What a swell guy he's not. This unhinged lunatic. Some of us haven't forgotten a few years ago, I think it was 2007, the audio tape of his voicemail calling his then 11-year-old daughter a fat, rude pig and just berating her, and of course, what he did to his former wife in disparaging comments, Kim, is it Basinger? We have all this constantly. He is lashing out at people, in particular members of the media, the paparazzi. Now let me just say a word here. I get it. The paparazzi, and people want to feel sorry for these celebrities. Look, you know what it's like to constantly have cameras shoved in your face? It comes with the territory. I'm in the ministry. There are times my phone rings in the evening at inconvenient hours. I could roll my eyes and say, well, how dare these people have an emergency now? Don't they know this is my time? It comes with what I do. Somebody wants to be a police officer, a first responder like a fireman or a paramedic. You're going to work nights. You're going to work in bad weather. You're going to work weekends and holidays. It comes with the job. You want to be famous. You want to be an entertainer. You want to be a celebrity. You want to be known. Well, part of the occupational hazard you're going to deal with, paparazzi. So I don't feel too sorry for him. But also, there are lots of celebrities which have to deal with paparazzi that don't continually have these clashes and these run-ins. These clashes and these run-ins are a direct result of the fact that Alec Baldwin himself and his personal, characterless behavior, his volatile, vitriol, anger, lack of management control is what constantly draws the media attention, even when he's interacting with them.
You heard what I said, right? You hear what I said? You hear what I said? Yeah. You answer me, yes or no? Yeah. You're here with my wife, but I think you're not here. You're a big problem. No. You are as dumb as you look. You are a fox, right?
I asked you a question. You want to apologize to her? I asked you a question.
You guys gotta get out of the middle of the street.
Get out of here.
Out of the middle of the street. Get out of the middle of the street, please. Out of the middle of the street.
I did nothing wrong, Alec.
Alec, do you think it's okay to speak about women like that?
Exaggerating what happened.
I want you to get back up, man. I gotta get my car. Get back up.
You don't like it when anyone disrespects your wife.
I want to press charges against the blonde. Yeah, see that blonde woman? I want to press charges against her. Let's get her over here.
Okay, have a seat.
She's the one I want to press charges against.
You want to press charges again?
Congratulations.
You gotta get out of the way.
I'm trying.
You gotta get other people when they're
I'm trying.
You're trying? Try harder. Okay.
Liberalism on display. come out and lecture all of us on who we ought to vote for, and we need to have a president that's polite and tolerant, and we need to respect everyone's views. But the liberal left themselves are deranged, they're nasty, they're mean. I'm thinking of Mad Maxine Waters. You get in their faces, you get in the faces of these Trump people at gasoline stations, at restaurants, and look at the harassment we had going on all last year of people that were part of Team Trump. I mean, liberals who talk this big talk about tolerance and acceptance, yet they themselves are the single most intolerant people on the planet. Bar none. That said, Alec Baldwin is a ticking time bomb. And the thing is, he gets passes. Why? He got to go on all the liberal talk shows of the time and explain away what it was that he said to his daughter. His daughter, even on an Instagram feed, made light of it. Years later, apparently they're past it. They're past it. At some point, he's going to physically hurt someone badly, like maybe kill them. And then all of a sudden, Hollywood will snap on a dime like they did to Harvey Weinstein. Don't act so innocent that you didn't know for years and decades what that slimeball was up to with women. You needed him to finance your movies. You wanted to make sure you were on that award train. You know all about Alec Baldwin. And I'm looking at you, producers over at Saturday Night Live. You have Alec Baldwin up there mocking the president, super exaggerating the president's flaws. Alec Baldwin. That's like watching a group of Catholic priests lecture America on the proper way to raise a child and not expose them to molestation. Yes, I said it, needed to be said. Oh, I'm sorry. Did that offend a few of you? Well, I can't help it. As a kid, even though I was raised Protestant, I used to go once in a while to a Catholic youth group because I thought it was really cool. It was a church that had a gym. That was neat. They had a bowling alley in the basement. Really cool. They had good food and a lot of cute girls. But I couldn't help but notice that while I was being taught, which I never bought into because, again, I was Protestant, if I ate fish on a Friday, I was going to go straight to hell. Yet suddenly, though, they got a little fuzzy on the rule book when it came to how the priests interacted with altar boys. And so, Our Lady of the Five Fingers down there fondling 5-year-olds seemed to be okay. I'm sorry. I have no respect for that. Don't lecture me on morality. And the same goes for this Hollywood ilk. They want to go after now Vince Vaughn, who is not a conservative. He's a libertarian. He likes Rand Paul, apparently. We don't know who he voted for. He didn't talk about it. But yet Alec Baldwin, flaming libloon, needs anger management, is yet a cream puff compared to that other has-been, Robert De Niro. Yes, I'm going there. That drooling old has-been who's one missed trip to the bathroom away from being committed to a nursing home. And I'm sorry, Martin Scorsese. I liked the movie The Irishman on one level, and I hated it on another. I know everybody's kissing your backside. It's award season. You're going to win all kinds of awards for the CGI animation, to make these old guys look young. It doesn't look young. It looks ridiculous. I'm sorry. Robert De Niro didn't look like a 25 or a 30-year-old guy at any time. Pesci looked even worse. It was sad. You should have used younger actors. Sorry, that's the truth. Hollywood won't tell you that because they're kissing your backside. But the truth is, Martin, it was terrible. And Robert De Niro looked awful. I remember being a teenager back in the 1980s when the thing to do was to hang out at the mall. And I remember, we would laugh at the moms that would be at the mall trying to dress like their teenage daughters. But we would really roll on the floor when a grandmother would walk by trying to look like her granddaughter. I was somewhere the other day, and in walked this 85-year-old woman. She had the ripped, distressed, skinny jeans on, and she had, a top on that, with the shoulders exposed like she was 18. I don't want to look at your warped, wrinkly, 90-year-old skin. Sorry. There's a reason I don't go out in public without a shirt on. You know, but people don't want to look at that. Ugh. You know, act your age. So nobody was impressed with De Niro, and the only reason he's got any award consideration this season is not for his acting skills. It's for the fact that every time they roll him out at some ceremony to honor someone or get something, he starts off with F Trump. Wow, how original, Hollywood. There you go. But Vince Vaughn, how dare he shake hands, and then you lecture the rest of us. We need a president with civility, and we need voters with civility. Where is the lack of civility coming from? Yeah, exactly. That said, I'm going to end this video a little bit unusual. We want to really end this on a positive upswing. Last night, at the championship game, Christian artist Lauren Daigle sang the national anthem, and it was powerful. It was awesome, and we're going to show it.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I love America. I love the fact that hashtag Democrats gone. That's our mantra for 2020. No Democrat elected to anything that can't be trusted. They will never stop impeachment. They will never stop trying to go after this president and hinder the progress that's happening. Hashtag Democrats gone. Make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Give us a thumbs up and a like. Check us out and the other stuff that we've got going on. And I'll catch you next time with my next rant.